Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round two of ORL here at Singapore. Today I am Taipan TJ, and today I'm joined by SVYT. Say hello, SV.
Hello everyone, glad to be back for another week. Obviously we had a great round one, there was great racing all through the field, and now I've got a co-host today, or I'm the co-host today actually, for Singapore here in Tier 2.
Yep, well, looks like who's the Alpine? Well, we got Marvel Fanboy and Guga, the first ones to go out on track. Oh my game, it is being a bit framey. There we go, but it is Guga. Looks like he will be the first one out on track to set a lap time. Get all the everything up. Alright, sweet.
Sweet as.
Now, who do you think who's your pick for pole?
Oh, well, if we're going off what we saw last week, SNF Wolf has got to be my pick right now. He had an incredible race there at Bahrain. Never looked like he was going to lose it. Took pole by about 2 or 3 tenths, and his first banker would have been good enough for pole actually last week, so my bet's on Wolf.
Well, I mean, I always gotta back the Alpine boys, and I gotta say when we were racing the preseason races, Kizzy he was up there as well, but I mean, yeah, Wolf, he's got to be a shoe-in, especially after the what do you call it, the actual tiers preseason. But I mean, this is a street circuit, first one of the year. Is there how many street circuits do you know are on the calendar?
I believe we've got 3. I think there's Baku here and Australia.
So we've got Singapore, Saudi, Australia. I think that's it, actually.
As Spicy is the first one to take us for a lap, going through to where the first sector split is now. I'm guessing it's going to be around a low 25 as he does a low 26 actually. 26.1 first sector. We'll see what the McLaren behind him can do. I believe it's PS Bomber. No, it's not. It's Marvel Fanboy. He does a 28.2, so that's a great first sector from Spicy there, leading the pack.
I do expect pole position to be around that mid to high 26 out of these tier 2 drivers, so but I guess these first bankers will be the telling tale. But Spicy, he opens the DRS, burning that battery.
I'm gonna predict a 26.9 pole for our tier 2 boys here.
That's right on board with Spicy. He goes to this last couple corners here, just missing the apex. First corner of the chicane. Comes with these quick last left-handers. Let's see if we can get up to the line. Looks like it's going to be a 27-7 to start off. Oh. Who else is... There's Kizzy. No. Guga comes along for a 28-1. This next got to a line looks like RB.
I believe it'll be the Marvel Fanboy. There's PS Bomber.
PS Bomber 27.501. He's smacked his hand on provisional pole. Is that? That looks like an RB is coming up to the line. No. What is that? I cannot tell the odds. Another Red Bull. Starts lap. Mickey's coming up to the line to finish his lap. 27.7 puts him P2. Now that is a... Oh my game.
If we're going based off what we saw in round one, those 2 Mercedes and PS Bomber, we're looking like the big 3 for this season. Once again, they're backing that up. Oh, the Rapid Mickey only just edging in front of Spicy as Milan slots in behind them. But that's an incredible banker by PS Bomber. Now he's got to see what SNF Wolf, who I believe is on a lap here, can do to back up what he started last week as he's... maybe he's just on a bank. No, he seems to be going quick. He goes purple through the second sector as he's now in the final sector, going down that one last DRS straight. Oh no, it's not DRS. Not bad. Yep, goes past one of the RB. I'm just going to call it Toro Rosso. I'm not calling it Visa Cash App. Coming around now, second last corner, going into the final. What lap time can he do? He's used all his deploy, flat through there. 127.4 pole position for now. Just edging in front of PS Bomber, 1/10 in it. So it's looking like we're going to have a good battle for pole position here. Rapid Mickey and Spicy and Milan also not too far behind. Oh wait, no, yep, never mind. Milan is a little bit far behind, but Spicy, Rapid Mickey and PS Bomber still edging just behind SNF Wolf. So it's anyone's game for now. We'll see what they can do. We've got more people going out on a lap. Com United is going to be the next one to cross the line by the looks of it, unless that Williams in front of him is on a lap.
And Community comes up to the line. That's P9 with a 30.5.
I believe that was a warm-up, his second warm-up lap for Ben Fuel by the looks of it, because he's still pushing now, and now he's got the hot lap on deploy.
Webber though, he's come to the last bends now. He was 14th up on his time. This would put him into P10 out of his teammate. So he can make his last couple of corners. P10 for Webber.
There's another one coming to the line. Oh no, he's out. He's got nothing in the tank.
It's a Haas coming up to the line. It's 5 striking invalidated. It's a Red Bull. It's a RB coming up to the line, and it is Spicy at 27.3. He was the early pace setter, and he's proving that that wasn't just him crossing the line first. He's got the pace. He's currently on provisional pole, only by a couple hundredths though. So this is a very close field so far.
Now it just depends. Mickey will be the next of our top 4 to put a lap out. He's just going on his out lap now. But can he go back ahead of Spicy, or will Spicy remain on provisional pole until our PS Bomber and SNF Wolf come out?
Com United, he was 4/10 up into the middle sector, another half a second. Now he's ahead of his teammate once again. Out of the teammates there in Ferrari.
We've got a lot of our grid that have not yet put out a lap. We got 2 of them on an out lap right now. I'm just going to call them R6 and Juicebox. Juicebox on an out lap. R6, he's just starting one. He's just through turn 1 and turn 2. Looks very graceful for there. Nice and smooth. Doesn't look to be correcting it too much. Very clean on the throttle input. As he now comes around, it's a very tricky corner to get right. As he seems to get it right, doesn't touch the wall, doesn't get locked stuck on the curb. Coming in, wobble his sector 1 split B. 26.7, so 6/10 slower than what Spicy's first run was. But I get the feeling he's still going to be just trying to learn the track. This is only his first run so far, so he will be trying to get used to the track conditions for his final run in this qualifying section. Also, other big news, SNF Wolf is coming out of the pits. Mickey pulled back into the pits. He must have got something wrong with that. He didn't decide to go for it. PS Bomber's just starting on, so what can he do? Will he be able to go in front of Spicy? As you look, he might get a bit of traffic here on it. Red Bull just pulls out the way. So he's very well done there from the Red Bull of... Not sure what Red Bull that was. I'm pretty sure it's Miniman.
Well, as the kicks out, we were on board at the start of the lap. Comes up to the line. It's a 28.4, putting in P8. And this is anyone else. Guga, he's also on a push lap. 14 thousandths of a second up as it comes onto the last DRS straight of the lap. And Juicebox retired. Binned it in a wall.
Retired without a lap here.
But anyway, Guga, he is 3/10 up on his time right now. That would put him just behind Rapid Mickey in P4. There's an Aston right up ahead of him. Hopefully it doesn't get too much in his way as they prepare a lap of their own. But Guga, through the last 2 corners of this Singapore circuit, 27.8. Just
Other news.
wasn't able to make more time. Just
PS
behind.
Bomber.
His Palmer 200's
Good
up.
time.
All of his battery is gone. Only a
Oh.
300th improvement. I gotta say, if he can manage his battery more on his lap, I think he's definitely got a couple tenths in him there.
Wait, do you have to control the overtake and all that on your lap? I thought if you just put it in hot lap, it does it itself.
No, you get a what do you call it? You get to control it through your lap. And you can use overtake and all that through your lap.
That could be why I'm slow.
Mini
SNF
Man.
will be on a lap as
Yeah,
well.
I will say that Mini Man, he's coming through his last couple of corners. He's currently 6 seconds up on his time, but that would still put him 2 seconds off his teammate in P14. But let's see what time he can find through these last couple of corners here. There's a 29.5, putting him P12. He was able to find that more time in the last couple of corners. Is that Wolf coming up? These last
It's
couple of
only
corners.
400 top, so that will be enough to edge Spicy. But Spicy's also got another run. He will have a better track than what Wolf is currently on. So he needs a bit more improvement than this if he wants to be the favourite for pole so far. Coming into lane, he's going to pull
backs
into the
out.
pit lane.
Who's that? It's Bomber.
He's just pulling into the pits. J-Man is on a lap, 8 tenths up so far. Didn't invalidate there. He's currently P4, which we've missed so far, but he's on a great lap, 7 tenths up, which would put him at a 27.0.
I think we should get onto his teammate, who I think is coming across the line to complete his first flying lap on the softs. Oh, no, he isn't. He is invalidated. Who's on for a lap?
Oh, Power Broadsides, he was doing a
Yeah.
warm-up.
I think Webbo will be the next person across the line. If we carry him just clicking over the end of the second sector, he's 8 tenths up on his lap time. That will put him
He's gone
nicely into P. Oh, not on my screen.
Oh,
Oh,
maybe
nice
that's a
game.
visual bug.
But as it stands right now, that would put him right into, I think that's P12 with an 8/10 improvement. See what he can do. Come around these last 2 corners. Up the line he goes. It's 29.2. That is P12. And Rapid Mickey, he also comes across the line. A 10th improvement to get into P4. I gotta say, that top 3 is so close. Less than a 10th covering them.
And in our chat here, we've got someone saying apparently there is debris in Sector 2 on the track.
With the race, it does not seem to be hampering any of these drivers. They're still going full pelt. As Broadstar, J-Man's teammate, coming through the last section of corners now. The last point where low downforce can come possibility is ended right now. Now it's the downforce through these tight corners. He's got the burners on. Through the last corner he goes. Last corner is Marina Bay Circuit. It's a 27.9, putting him nicely into P7.
Rapid Mickey on a lap here. This will be his last lap by the looks of it. I don't think he'll have enough time to get back to the pits unless he's bailed out here. It looks like he has bailed
Yeah.
out. So who will be the first?
Com
of our top-
United, 29.4 has improved, and that is, who's that behind? Is a Red Bull behind him? And it looks like that Red Bull was just starting its lap, so I think that Red Bull just got heavily impeded. We caught on the stream, so that is not what Com United would have wanted to happen. That looks like oh, I just caught it on the stream. I don't. How do you pronounce his name in the kick? TXRRMM6.
I was just calling him R6.
Okay, well R6 caught it on stream, spinning it into a wall, and yep, he has to come into the pits to repair that front wing. I don't know if that's session over for him, but we'll see if he can get that front wing fixed very soon.
He still has a lot of time to get back out there. J-Man's going to be the first of our top 5 to start his final run on an outlap right now.
I want to check,
As-
make sure no one on a lap right now is pushing. Yeah, but looks like J-Man, he will be the one to watch.
I think the big one to watch here, though, will be PS Bomber. He's only done one lap in the session so far, and he's still less than a tenth of Spicy, so he could still be a big shot for pole here yet. We've got a few drivers coming out of the pits now, Milan being one of them, Not Kai's being another,
And
and Power
Broadstar,
Broadstar's retired.
I think he knows he wasn't getting out for another lap, didn't have time, so he's just gonna look on.
Spicy's on an outlap. I don't know what's just happened there. He's gone through a Red Bull.
But I think these guys are taking off the sandbags for these last runs. I think we're going to see some impressive times these last couple of runs. But J-Man, he's the first one of our top contenders to start his flying lap. And I think we'll just let you guys watch this lap in silence. It has not looked like an amazing lap for J-Man. As he comes through his last couple corners, it was a 10th up through the middle sector. Let's see what he can do over the line. It's a 2/10 improvement. That's P4. And Spicy's retired.
Oh no, he's retired on session. Huh. He obviously wasn't happy with the first two corners he had. SNF Wolf, he's lost his entire front wing on Spicy's AI.
Oh, that is gonna be some sort of penalty for Spicy.
PS Bomber now, he will be the big threat. J-Man already completing his lap. Actually, Rapid Mickey's further in front, but Rapid Mickey's not improving. He's 8/10 down. So it will be up to PS Bomber.
Milan! Someone we did not think was going to be troubling the top couple positions, especially the front row. He has placed it on provisional pole as it stands, but PS Bomber, let's see what he can do to the middle sector. He's got to find about 2/10 this lap if he wants to trouble pole position. A 10th to trouble the front row. Let's see what he can do as he passes through the end of Sector 2.
Not enough so far.
Unless he can carry the best last sector that the world has ever seen. I do not think PS Bomber will be troubling that front row, but anything can happen. He's taking these last couple corners nicely. Let's see what he can do up to the line.
Around the final corner now.
ERS is fully deployed.
Oh!
He has pulled out an amazing last sector. PS Bomber into P2, and that is qualifying over.
Big news there is Wolf has received a 5 grid place penalty for that, so he will not be starting P4. He will be starting P9 in this race.
Well, I'll run through the qualifying order. It is Milan P1, who wasn't really troubling those first couple positions. PS in the start of qualifying, but PS Bomber P2, 17 thousandths behind him, a 10th back from pole is Spicy. Very close top 4 with SNF Wolf, J-Man, Mickey, Guga Kizzy, Broadstar, Firestrike, Mewburn, R6, Webbo, Com United, Miniman, comes Kebabs, Raven, Marvel Fanboy, and Juicebox rounding out the 19 drivers here tonight. 10.6 seconds to pole. You got to think some of these drivers just couldn't hook laps together. Whether that'll translate to the race with mistakes and safety cars, yet to be seen, but honestly, I think it will. But SNF Wolf starting back in P9 for this race after that penalty. So, I got to be saying, I think Spicy will be receiving some sort of penalty for his actions with retiring on track, but I think we're just going to be getting on with the race as it is. So, who do you think is pit for the race?
Just got back. Sorry, mate. I think my favorite for the race right now, we saw from last week, Aston Martins have got some pace in them, but I think it's gonna have to be a very big work through for them. But I reckon PS Bomber for the race win here today.
Well, it looks like SNF Wolf is getting a lifeline right now. There has been a red flag to reset the lobby. Everyone's going to be DNFing off the start. We're going to have a reset for this lobby. And, yeah. So, as the 5 red lights come up and they're out, and everyone's going to be jump starting and crashing as we see mayhem. Yep.
And hopefully the real race start doesn't end up like this, by the way, guys.
Yeah, we hope not, but yep, it has to look like there has been a red flag. And we will see SNF Wolf back in his rightful position of 4th place. So, just... I guess we can just chat for a while we wait for the carnage to finish. Oh, clearly some people have not seen the message, maybe. I can't tell. Some people haven't, maybe.
I'm guessing they'll get the hint, surely.
I mean, there's only 4... Okay, Mewburn, I think, has gotten the hint. I do not think Kebabs, Firestrike, or Miniman have gotten the hint so far.
As the
Oh,
restart
there we go. Firestrike has done us a service, but I think the Red Bull and the RB are not
Oh, one's understood. That's where the Red Bull now understands.
Oh, there we are.
the-
Everyone has retired. It will be the of starts for this race.
I shall be back as the restart takes place. I will be gonna quickly go do something. I should be at less than 3 minutes.
If anyone needs it, those are all the starting positions. Oh, why is this on it? I'm not even gonna ask why Zonic's in a car, but I guess he is. So, I thought he was a tier 1 driver. Well, guys, I think we are going to be bring the grid back to where it was before the penalty. So, just have to wait for good old J-Man to do his thing. So, just bathe in the silence, I guess, while we wait for this racing to unfold. Well, we have gotten, RP, we have gotten the green light to get this racing back underway, and I think SV is still not here, which is absolutely brilliant, but...
I'm back.
Oh, well, isn't that convenient? The green light was just given.
I was back. My headphones were not going on my head properly. I had to fix that. My dearest mother is cooking me food, so she's a absolute lifesaver. Here is the lobby will be restarting. Not sure whether Spicy will be receiving a pen for his AI ruining Wolf's Bully or not.
I do
But
think
we'll
those type of
find out.
incidents are post-race license points penalties, so I don't think anything will happen besides a slap on the wrist for him. But everyone's got to remember, too many slaps on the wrist can mean more than just a couple position penalties. So, but it will be interesting to see whether these top drivers from qualifying can convert their speed into the race. And with this race restart, they're gonna have to remember to all put their setups back on, and it'll be interesting because last week in Tier 1 when we had a lobby restart, someone very quickly put their clicked yes, ready to go. So people were able to get their setups on, caused a lot of rage quitting, I think, out of that tier. So
I was guilty of that.
so it will be interesting to see what does happen. I do think we will be sitting here for a while before they get given the green flag to go, or no one's going to listen to any sort of warning and we're just going to go, but time will tell.
So far, it's looking like they're listening to what they were told. They are
Waiting and waiting.
much more better behaved than the Tier 1 group. As here they go, 5 red lights. And away we go. As PS Bomber looks to have a great start here already alongside Milan. And in front of Milan into turn 1. He takes the lead of this race. Spice is going to take P2 away from
That
Milan.
was a bit of contact there. Spicy getting real side by side. In the back there, there's a lot of moving around in the order. But Milan getting beaten up. SNF Wolf going around the outside. Milan has had a shocker of a race start. When there's Calamity at the back, that is Power Broadstar and Miniman around, as well as the residues of Kebabs, Juicebox, and Raven. But as we go back up to the front, it has stayed the top 4, basically, except Milan losing all sorts of positions. That is a yellow flag. I see Marvel Boy going down the order. He has got no front wing, and that is R6 with that's missing right front end plate. Marvel Boy, no front wing. You think he's the first person.
I just witnessed that. What happened there was...
and that is Raven binning it into a corner. And how is there not been... And that's multiple dude, and that's a virtual... How's that not a full safety car? The amount of carnage that went on in that first lap. Oh, and I've seen the incident. And there is 2 stopped cars across the bridge. And Raven is just existing back here is just trying to get out of the incident. But that was a very chaotic start to this race.
Yeah, well, what originally started there was Marvel Fanboy and Com United were going side by side, and to the point where I believe Com United pushed Marvel Fanboy off the track, and it caused the McLaren to lose a bit of his front wing end plate, and he then just decided to not brake for the next corner and completely rear-ended R6.
That is
And
wonderful.
based off that 10-second time penalty, I believe R6 was not happy with what happened and
But Rapid
may
Mickey
have
is in the pits. Is Rapid Mickey, and so is R6 and Broadstar, all repairing their cars. And with Miniman, I'm guessing Raven's coming into, all utilizing this virtual safety car. But I gotta say, there's not really. As the virtual safety car is ended, DRS is enabled. Spicy with an amazing restart. Pierce Bomber defending. Spicy going overtake for the leader's race. Oh, squeeze, I think, into the wall there. Spicy, you can't be overtake, but he does go for a switchback, but he just can't quite get that drive. Pierce Bomber stay in the lead. That top 5, top 6 is definitely, except for Milan, moving back to P4. That top 6 has basically stayed where they started, except for, who started on P6? Was it Mickey, I think, started P6?
yeah.
Sounds about right, but yeah, after his incident. But Guga in the background. Oh, it looked like he was going for a move there. The Ferraris and the RB, all three of them together battling away. I think these guys, Milan is already got a 3-second penalty after that horrible first lap by him. He's already picked up a penalty trying to stay with these guys. And some very wide shenanigans by SNF.
Extremely wide.
And PS Bomber is overtaken by Spicy with the help of DRS. And Spicy runs wide himself. That's got to be a warning for the RB driver. Let's see what. And SNF Wolf gets a penalty. Wow, these penalties are getting handed out left, right, and center. Let's pull up the tires. But Spicy and PS Bomber side by side again. PS Bomber back into the lead. SNF Wolf capitalizing on Spicy falling through the pack. That promotes the McLaren and the Mercedes back up into the top 2, where, given the preseason, and I didn't really watch much of last round, but these two are very familiar with these top steps of the podium based on all the preseason races. But PS Bomber, he does seem to have the downforce compared to the trailing cars. He's just able to get away. So I think at the end of stints, and if he can get out of this DRS, he's definitely going to be a strong contender for the win, just like he said pre-race. But Guga and J-Man battling just behind this pack. Guga just able to get ahead of the Aston Martin.
Spicy now also really closing the gap. He's got to within 2/10 here, but this is not helping out the pair of them. It's letting PS Bomber get to a 7/10 gap, although they do have DRS now, as DRS this year has been brought 1 lap earlier. So it did help them last lap and this lap, as they now have to try and work together here. They can't keep fighting, or else PS Bomber will just run away with this one. He's already got the gap to 8/10, and he's got no penalty, whereas SNF Wolf and Milan do, so...
Yeah, Milan, he has gotten dropped now from the DRS of these front 3. We'll be able to see now his raw pace. Will he fall back to the Guga and J-Man battle? But these top 3 they seem to be the class of the field this weekend. But and you got to wonder if Milan's had setup issues. He's fallen through the pack, but whether he wasn't able to get his tire pressures right. But Spicy, big mistake. He's back with Milan. It's Milan back into those top 3 positions. But
he shifted into the wrong gear
Wolf
there, and
is that a second for Wolf? We will see on the straight whether he does get DRS. He does not. PS Bomber, he has got the downforce to get away, but I think we should go back to Spicy and Milan, as they seem to be getting closer together. And Guga, he does seem to have been, well, he is giving J-Man big toe up to this battle for 3rd place. But PS Bomber, he has broken the DRS, and I think if he can keep it clean the rest of this race, his early pace, if he can keep it up, that will win him the race. But time will tell. And
Whoa.
Spicy, oh my, is utilizing track limits. I think we know why he's got that 3-second time penalty on his name. It's Kizzy, 10 seconds spinning in the pit lane. Let's see what he has. Does he have damage, or is he just making an early pit stop? No, he's just making an early pit stop. Oh no, he does have damage. It did
Whoa.
not get repaired though. That is
other
not what the
Alpine-
Alpine wants.
The other Alpine is also, I just seen, hit the wall and the exit of turn 4. He was coming in a bit too hard and had a little clash with the outside wall. I'm not sure if he's got damage or not.
It
Front
does
wing
not
looks
seem.
alright.
He's got his own plates, but around these high downfall street circuits, sometimes the visual effects of the damage aren't seen on F1, but that lime green damage can sometimes hinder these drivers, especially in these high downfall tracks. But PS Bomber, he's what I would like to call in this tier 2 pack doing an SNF Wolf. He is clearing off at the front of this race right now. He's definitely gotten the fuel, gotten everything ready, but I think what I want to see is their ERS usage and their fuel. Looks like everyone has got the fuel, but Mewburn is underfueled by the looks of it. But everyone is good on the fuel. They've definitely overfueled, ready for no safety cars, but Fire Strike with a 3-second as well. But this pack, J-Man, he is holding on for dear life, using all of the ERS to his potential, but it just seems, just looking at this train, that if you're at the front of one of these trains and you want to stay there, looks like you're going to have to use all of your ERS to stay there.
There's still one thing to consider though. A late safety car could very much hinder these front drivers with the early penalties already. If a safety car comes out at the later stage of this race, they won't have much time to get the 3-second gap, and they might even get more penalties as this race goes on. As Spicy now makes the move on Milan in at turn 5. What a nice move there. And Guga all over the rear end of Milan, while Milan's still all over the rear end of Spicy. This is a great battle forming up here.
Yeah, we're riding on board now with Guga, just behind this train. If you look down his steering wheel, he has got a lot of battery saved up. He is ready to make his attack. But also, he's on the hard tires. Oh, nice little slide to the corner, but as you can see, he's on those hard tires. He's definitely ready for that late stint attack. I'd say when they get to lap around maybe 8 or 9 is when these hards will come into their own, and if there's any sort of pace punch, but that is 6 around, and DNF, and Miniman just avoids it, but will that be a safety car? By looks of it, does not seem it will, but R6, he's binned it on the exit, but let's go to the battle of the Ferraris. Virgil safety car.
As the Red Bull lost his front wing.
And just like that, we were down to 16 runners in this race. There, PS Bomber, I gotta say, in the preseason races, I did expect him to be up there all season long, but I didn't expect him to be a a race winner this season, or I did not expect it for him to be gapping the field like he has been doing so far this race.
This virtual safety car here could lead to SNF Wolf.
Oh, that's Broadstar with a drive-through.
He did that last week as well. He managed to come back though to get a podium. This week's going to be a little bit harder, being so much further down. SNF Wolf got much closer to the DRS, and he's still getting closer based off the virtual safety car.
I will say though that even these early penalties for these tier 2 drivers,
I think we might have a red flag.
Spicy. No, I don't think we do. Maybe.
Well, Rapid Mickey left the game. I got an invite by Zen and Plays, who I believe is a tier 2 driver.
No, he's not involved in this race so far. No red flag. We're still racing. Spicy up the inside of Milan, going to the third last corner, fourth last corner, but PS Bomber is extending his lead, but they are side by side. Who's going to back out? No, they are side by side. Who's going to pick up the DRS? It will not be Spicy. And they were provisionally 3 wide. It is Guga into P4. Replicating last
Someone's
last
in a
week's
wall.
tier 1 drivers, but oh, who is that? That was looks like a Red Bull driver. No, it wasn't.
Who is that?
Who is it? Look, that was an RB. Who is it?
Oh, it's Mewburn.
Uburn. Oh, Uburn and Weber going at it. But Milan and Guga at it again. Oh, and SNF Wolf is getting within that second, but we will stay on board as they're going side by side through some of the hardest corners to go side by side through on this track. Oh, and that's Milan into the wall, and his end plate is gone. That's going to be devastating for the Williams driver.
As Rapid Mickey joins back, SNF Wolf was inside of DRS for a split second, and he will be now as well, as Pierce Bomber had to avoid
Pierce
the
Bomber
Haas,
got
right? Where he
DRS
was
off
the-
the Haas though, so I think this has saved him a little bit. I think that gap would have been a lot closer. But Guga, he's
Wow, that-
sending it up the inside. Oh, no, he had a look. Not quite. Wait a minute. I got that wrong. That's Guga without the end plate. The Alpine has not got an end plate. Must have smacked on the Williams, but I think we should go back to this lead battle. SNF Wolf has gotten that DRS back. And you gotta wonder, maybe it was Pierce Bomber just having better, tire temperature. Is able to get away from the pack. This next half a lap to a lap will tell the tale. If SNF Wolf can stay on the DRS, this will be pivotal to his chance at the win. But these two have gapped the field by 6 seconds. You can take into account there was a yellow flag along the straight. I was so confused for a second, but that battle pack back there has been battling a lot, so you've got to take that big gap with a grain of salt. But Guga, Milan goes defensive. Guga right around the outside. Oh, there's a little bit of contact. All's fair in racing though. As they go through, wall hit sentry if someone sends up your inside there. But Guga, he's really suffering through these low speed corners, but Wolf, he is climbing all over the back of PS Bomber as they come onto the last DRS straight of the lap.
Had a bad exit there though, so that exit is not going to help him on this straight. He might be able to get it done on the next straight or the next DRS straight, which is the start finish line, but even then that's a hard corner to overtake. You have to be very confident that you're going to be able to send it and get fully in front before the apex of the next
And
corner.
Guga around the outside again. Oh, and there's a lot of contact. He knows these hards are getting better as the race is faring on. This is...
Spicy nearly crashed in the rear end with J-Man. He,
Oh, what's
tried to
happening?
block the rear
Spicy
end
is
a bit.
just... Oh, Spicy's lagging. That's brilliant. Spicy's
Oh.
lagging. That is absolutely brilliant. But it is Milan and Guga fighting for this P2. Oh, and Guga sends it up. Backs out, actually, but... SNF Wolf, Pierce Bomber has not been able to drop him like he did earlier in the race. But as this battle pack fares down, Milan has been able to eke out that gap, but I think this broken front wing is helping Guga stay within this DRS gap. As it's 1/10, 2/10, almost, he's 3/10 going to the braking zone, but Spicy sends it late. Oh, and there's contact, and Spicy is around after running so well. It was a little half spin, but that has cost him a lot of time. But I think with the amount of battling that battle for third has induced, there will be time for him to... But he has hit a wall, and you do not want to be hitting a wall around this street circuit.
That's helped J-Man out a lot now. P5, he's one of the only 3 in the top 5 that don't have a penalty. 2 more further behind him also have penalties, so he's in a great spot here to pick up his first podium of the season.
Yeah, let's look at the penalties. As everyone's got 3 seconds. Everyone with previous 10 seconds of drive-throughs have served them. And everyone in the top 9 have not pitted yet. And I would say the big movers are Weber, Com United, and Kebabs with 4 positions each. And biggest losses are Mickey, Kizzy, and Broadstar, down 5 each. But this race, I've got to say, has turned into a bit of a boring one. But as I do say that, I was thinking it, SNF Wolf is all over the back of PS Bomber. But I
Don't
think
forget though, he has to get this move done and then get a further 3 seconds in front. Although he's riding, he pulls to the inside, nearly collects the rear, and the PS Bomber runs extremely wide, still side by side. They're gonna go side by side through.
oh,
Oh, what on it? PS Bomber's just gone over SNF Wolf on my screen.
I'm really sad. I was gonna go to Pierce Bomber's point of view, but I didn't. But Pierce Bomber, he's still got a good get back, but that was one crazy incident. That was the lag and game. That was crazy to watch. But these next couple, I doubt anything has happened to either of these cars. We'll just have to. I'll look into Wolf's car if I can. But it's a Red Bull, which will give him some DRS, which is not good for Pierce Bomber down in P2 right now. But does not look like there's any damage to this Mercedes, and it does not look like there is any damage to the McLaren. But I'm guessing with the way that I've observed these setups being, I do think the gap will be fluctuating between the straights and the corners, because it does seem that SNF Wolf does have a bit more straight line speed compared to PS Bomber, but Milan and Guga have taken the gap. 2J-Man is just hovering around that 1 second gap, and Spicy,
Oh,
2
as
seconds further
Jamin has a
back.
big spin, catches it just
Oh, and
before
Com
the wall.
United's out.
There's retirement, and it's another virtuals. We have 3 virtuals in this race, but no full safety car. Just will anyone pit based off of that
Let's see if we
save
can catch
Jamin
this.
big
Oh,
time?
it looks like Com United had a rear locking and went straight right into the wall. That is not what you want to see if you are the Ferrari TP. Who is the Ferrari TP? I wonder.
Not. I think it's the X-Men.
I think it's MX, isn't it? Yeah, it's MX, the
Oh, yeah,
prancing
that's right.
horse of ORL. But this has given opportunity to Mewburn and Webber to make their pit stops under this. Oh, it is a full safety car. It's a
Wait,
full
it's
safety
on-
car.
It's on track, but it's not saying.
Yeah, it's
full
just a
safety
visual
car.
glitch. But it is a full
Alright.
safety car. Yeah, so you just
Well,
that has neutralized, I will say, PS Bomber's error, or his internet's error. I will say, but this will be interesting. All the Guga, he will struggle. If I was him right now, I would,
you have to box.
yeah, the mediums you'll have to go, but I genuinely do not think that the mediums can last, they might be able to last half the race, but it will be a stretch.
I think either way, if you pit right now, you have to commit to a 2-stop.
Yeah, and if I was him right now, I'd be committed, because they all have 3 brand new sets of softs, so if I was him right now, I'd be pitting onto those softs, and depending on how the race folds out, go to a set of mediums after 5 laps, or try hanging out there for a second set of softs. But Miniman, he's just getting the lap back on the leaders.
That safety car actually saved a few of our drivers there. J-Man had a big snap of oversteer just before the safety car came out. He was looking like Spicy was going to make a move on him based off of it, but the second that he caught it, the virtual and then full came out, so...
It will be interesting to see what Guga does, what tires he does go onto. It is the mediums, and he is getting that wing change to get that end plate back, so he might lose a couple positions, but...
Spicy also changing the front wing.
Yeah, must have had some sort of damage, but looks like Firestrike has been able to jump Spicy in the pits. And who was that going across the line? That must have been the other Haas. Was it a Haas? Yeah, it was. Where's the other Haas? Oh, it's Raven. Looking to get his lap back, but I don't know.
Unfortunately, I think that's pretty much race done for Raven.
Because you can go off track and let the cars by, but I don't know. Has ORL allowed that to happen? You can go off the track and let cars by, but if any of you guys are watching the stream and racing right now in that top, who is that? That's J-Man, so that top 4. If you're in that top 4 right now and you want to do a service, top 4 or top 5, you want to do a service, let the Haas by, or go off track, or let him by, because it's just going to harm everyone's races. And come on, be sportsmen. Come on, I know you can. I know you want to.
I think the only one... Oh wait, there's 2 Haas's in there. Firestrike's in there, and
Yeah, I think
also the other one.
Firestrike is 2 positions behind his teammate on track, and Raven's the first one on track.
Yeah, which means at this rate, his teammate could be getting a bit of a helping hand here because everyone's going to have to try and get past Raven off the restart. He will try and move out the way straight away, but
I do
that final
think
corner is
though,
a very hard corner to let everyone through.
yeah, I do think though Raven on his 10 lap off hards, I think he maybe was chancing trying to get ahead of the pack, but I think he's just gonna, finish off his race. But those hards can do the whole race, so give it another give-in, maybe another safety car. He might be close enough to jump the whole pack, but we will see here. And does he does not go into the pit, so it does look like he might even play some team tactics and maybe back up everyone behind Firestrike once he gets past him and make it a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 car battle for the lead. That will be a very interesting race to watch. But I will say, looking back on the minimap, there does seem to be a bit of a backlog of cars behind the Red Bull of Miniman and Kebabs. Kizzy and Broadster all in that pack. That's not what I want to be, but Kebabs. Can you check what tire? Oh, maybe not. But I wonder what tire Kebabs was on before. It must have been on the hards or something, or the medium. Sorry, must be trying on the softs. But everyone now on the hards, bar Guga, Kebabs, and Broadster. Everyone is on the hards. But I expect. Well, I actually don't expect anyone else to pit except for Kebabs. So Guga, I think, can make the end of the race. Those tires, at least on last game, because gotta be honest, compared to last game, the tires are actually wearing like kind of similar. So in terms of what the highest percent is, but I think these tires might be able to do about 15 laps, which is honestly, barring the incidents that have happened, I think there might still be a couple other virtuals. Wait, how many has there been so far? I think there's been two,
Two
and then
virtuals and one full.
yeah. So I think they've got one more in the tank. So assuming that's a full safety car, might be able to capitalize. But there is a bit of backlocking near J-Man, but
Either way, the race will be restarting this lap. So
thought
these
it was
boys
next
at the back here behind, no, I believe it's this one. Miniman, either way, he has to pick the pace up or else he will not catch the pack. It's looking like he's starting to try and get full, but he's getting throttle lock here. So
actually, I think he's under AI. Oh, let me pull up telemetry.
maybe it is next lap because they are.
Yeah, he's trailing in AI, but it does look that way that he is trailing in AI, but I will say that it seems to be the meta this game. When you're under a virtual or full, or just really a full safety car or on a formation lap, that you do go into AI mode because it does help with your tire temps and it gives you next to zero tire wear, which is what you always want: tire temp and no tire wear. So, but as the 4 drivers at the rear of the field have finally caught up to the pack, this lap here will be the lap the safety car does go in. And
Full pack now has regrouped up. We're going to have the SNF Wolf taken away with that 3-sec penalty. PS Bomber behind after the incident. So he'll be wanting to get that overtake done just for a bit of ego, I'm guessing. He doesn't really need to, but he also wants to get away from Milan and J-Man now, who jumped 2 people in the pits. He's also got no penalty. Guga behind, who's got his front wing change now. But he's also got to get past that lap car. So he's going to lose about 5/10 off the restart, trying to get past that pass of Raven Rule Sales.
I mean, this race will be interesting though, because anyone that is friends with Guga will be able to use his information that he's gathering right now. Same with Broadster, to find out how long these mediums will go, given that it's full green running to the end of the race, because it will be vital for any of the tier 1 drivers later this afternoon, where J-Man and Lindsay will be commentating for here on the ORL YouTube channel. So safety car should be in this lap. Raven Ruler Souls. I'm not even gonna bother trying pronouncing that full name once again, but I will ask SV if you can get on to Raven and comment on how he goes, but I'll bring away the safety car restart. It's probably telemetry.
I believe he's trying to get a bit of a gap there, so I'm guessing he's trying to hold the...
SNF Wolf, he
Back
does
a
seem to
little
be pretty fluctuating speeds. This might get looked at because I gotta be honest, he's fluctuating a lot, but it comes to his second last corner and he is gone. Overtake is going, but Piers Bomber, he has been able to stick with him off this restart. Guys, with a 3-second penalty off the restart of this race. What's happening with Raven?
Oh, he's slowing down right in the middle of the track. A lot of people are going off because of it. His teammate was one of the people. He's now on the apex trying to let people go. No. He's just lost a lot of people a lot of time. Spicy was one of them. Mr. Firestrike, his teammate, another. And, oh, mate, if you're going to let people by, you can't do it on the racing line.
After all that shenanigans, though, Spicy has picked up a second 3-second time penalty, which is not good for him. And Guga, he's pulled up a 3-second penalty for the first time this race. That might hurt him later on in the race. But let's pick up with the leaders. The top three have all stayed within that DRS range of each other, starting that next lap, which on this new game, you got to remember, after one lap of safety car or the start of the race, DRS is enabled. So this will be vital for Milan's race if he can make his proposition back to lead this race after starting from pole position. I will say though, if this race does end up in a last lap shootout, and they late safety car with a last lap shootout, I would put my money on Milan, and he did show some pace on the softs, but sadly on these harder compounded tyres, it does not seem like he has quite the pace. Good leaders, but
J-Man just got overtaken by Google there. Spicy also back on the rear end of J-Man, who is showing he doesn't want to let these positions go easy. He is defending quite hard. Guga had to try for about 5 corners in a row trying to get past J-Man. Spicy now also, he's going to have DRS here on this next straight. So will he be able to get the move done, or will the DRS of Guga just keep J-Man strong enough? But Spicy almost runs in the rear end of J-Man there.
Firestrike, he is in the pits. Maybe he's lost the front wing, maybe even because of his teammate, which will not be great, but SNF Wolf, this will be the first time after the safety car that he's under pressure from the DRS of Piers Bomber and Milan. Does not seem like he is affected. Let's see what Firestrike's in for. Yes, it is a front wing. If that was from his teammate, I think there will be some big talks in the Haas chat from their TP telling them to... Is Raven a full-time driver or a reserve?
He's a reserve.
Well, I think that Haas TP will be getting into the DMs of Raven and telling him how to race, because that might have just costed one of his drivers a good position, because Firestrike, he was running up there in the top 8, if I do remember, but SNF Wolf has got a big train forming behind him. Guga has now been added to this train on the mediums. I also wonder, is Guga just, with the superior grip, will he just find his way and slice through this top pack? Guga
I'll check
on my map.
Right now.
Guga on my map has done a purple middle sector, so I think this might be his fastest lap of the race, at least. Let's see what he can do up to the line. Let's see if he'll get that extra point for the Alpines.
Raven is
Yes, he
actually a
will.
full-time driver.
Well, that Haas chat will be going crazy after that restart, but Guga set fast lap of the race. Alpine has got that extra point almost locked in, bar any drivers down the field wanting to get the ego fastest lap in. So SNF Wolf, another 3-second penalty. That's 6 seconds for the current race leader. At this point, he would not even stand on the podium with that type of penalty. But
Yeah, it's going to hurt
Guga,
his race big
yes.
time, as he just picked up another track limit warning. Went a bit wide over that curb. Yes, Bomber still
is-
running all over the rear end of him. Milan as well, and Guga's looking like he's going to make a move on Milan, only 3/10 behind.
Guga is trying to utilize all the grip from his fresh medium tires. Yes, it says 5 laps on those mediums, but honestly, every tire here is only about 2 racing laps old. Guga, I thought he might have sent it into that corner, but he's restraining himself. But he is right on the rear diffuser of the Williams car as he's trying to sail right around the outside, but Milan covers him off, sticking in the middle of just a bit off the racing line. But Guga, I think he's trying to play smart with his DRS. He's just, only if the move's there, he's going to take it, because if he wanted to use his battery, I think he would have been well by now. I think he knows the pace he has mid-corner, so he's just waiting for the perfect opportunity. But these top two, they're pulling away.
Some more news though is PS Bomber is only one track limit warning away from a penalty. So if he goes off one time here, he will have a 3-second
Guga and
time
Milan
penalty.
side by side through the first couple of corners. Without that DRS for Milan, it is becoming increasingly easier for Guga to get alongside him, but Milan putting up the defense of the century. He is being the Perez to the top two is Verstappen, but Guga making the easy pass with DRS. Let's see what Guga can do with this corner pace now. It's 2/10 the gap behind Milan, but that's already eking out. He's got 1.9 seconds. All good, SV. Got 1.9 seconds to the top two as it stands. That is each corner. It's coming down by 1/10 of a second. It seems to have chilled down in this top group, but Mewburn and Mickey, I'd say the next closest racing pack on the track. Let's see what Mewburn can do. Oh, it does not seem to be wanting to make the move. Trying to get out of DRS, maybe even cool down his engine. But oh my god, Guga, it's 1.4 seconds. He has closed in half a second, not even half, a third of a lap. He is putting on the burners for the Alpine team. Geordie will be very ecstatic with the performance he's seeing, but it's still yet to see whether these mediums will hold on to the rest of the race. And he's towing Milan with him. I don't think he wants that to happen, so I think he just wants this to be a 3-horse race for the top step of the podium, but time will tell. It's back up 1.7 seconds. So it does seem he's lacking in straight line speed, but he's making it all up through the corners. Mewburn and Mickey. Mewburn maybe even cooling off his engine. Battle is still not there. Milan still has the DRS to Guga, who has closed in half a second. It was about 2 seconds this time last lap, so I think maybe give it 2 more laps. Guga will be on the rear diffuser of PS Bomber. Mewburn picks up a penalty and Kebabs into the pits. I think that's about the age of the softs, about 5 racing laps, 6 racing laps. It's about how much those softs went. He is onto the mediums to take out these last 11 laps of the Singapore Grand Prix here in the Marina Bay. That's enough Wolf. With that 6-second penalty, he's just holding off PS Bomber, but Guga, he is ever closing in that gap, as he is properly discharged of Milan and the Williams behind him. Raven has left the session. He has just given up. He's a lap down, a lap and a half now down. He's just throwing in the towel, but Guga, he is still pushing on hard. I say we look at these battery levels. Guga is sitting nicely. He's got the advantage on these top two, so if he can close in, beneficial. But Mewburn has overtaken Mickey. This seems to be the most action happening on this track as it stands.
Yeah, Broadstar with a great comeback drive so far. Obviously, we saw he was in last at one point with that drive-through, and he's now back in P7 just behind his teammate on the mediums as well. So if he can keep this pace up, he's got no penalty. And he might even be able to snag another back-to-back comeback podium.
Yeah, but it will be tricky because I would say those other drivers will have to pick up more penalties, and Broadstar will have to pick up the pace, do gain back on the drivers, but Kebabs has come in for a new set of mediums after that stint on the softs. But I say we go back to the top. Guga, that pace from the mediums seems to have died off compared to the hards, as he's not making much more in-ground on the cars ahead. But the gap between the top two stays at half a second. You wonder, is PS Bomber just biding his time, waiting for a mistake? Or is he just trying to not make a mistake of his own, just sit at a controlled pace? Because he just seems to be sitting there with the DRS, letting, SNF Wolf is getting away a little bit through the corners, but he's just using that DRS to heave him back to the rear diffuser of SNF Wolf, just keeping his gap. But go ahead.
PS Bomber knows he doesn't really have to push here. As long as he can stay within 6 seconds of SNF Wolf, he will have this victory. So I'm sure he's just sitting there, not trying to push too hard. Just don't risk any damage or anything, because he knows if he doesn't do that, then he will have this race victory, as long as Guga doesn't pull out a masterclass in these final 10 laps.
Broadstar, 3-second penalty, not what the comeback drive needed for the Aston Martin driver, but I think he is safe behind, so looks like at this point in the race, the Aston Martins will be locking out P6 and 7, which is a good showing for them because of Broadstar's early race shenanigans. But that is someone slow at the hairpin. Kebab's big mistake for him, but Guga, he has come back a bit this lap. Maybe he was going for a little tire temp cooldown lap, and now he's back on the charge to the top 2. That gap is back down to 1.7. Hasn't been there for about a lap and a half, 2 laps, which is going to light up the Aston's mind. And that's another Haas going slow. It's gone up to speed once again, and that was Firestrike. But these top 2, I do think the gap is depending on where PS Bomber is relative to Wolf, because I think that gap between... Now let's pull up the leaders gap. Gap to leader with all the penalties up. Guga at this stage would end up second on the podium, but it's only 0.3 of a second in it with the penalties. So time will tell. I think
And
that's...
J-Man as well. He could easily... Another safety car here could easily give him a podium finish. He's one of the only 2 in the top 7 that haven't got a penalty.
Yeah, only 3 in the top 10 without a
Mickey as
penalty.
well.
Yeah, exactly. Mickey showed promise from qualifying, but in this race, he's just been bombarded by incidents and just stuff out of his own control. But the other side of the Mercedes garage, I will say, is not much better, because SNF Wolf making more mistakes than I have seen him make before. In the one race I have commentated, and the other race where I've just watched it as a spectator, but it does not look like SNF Wolf has had the mistake-free races he has had in the past. Just, he has not been able to, 1, even gap the field. He has been gapped himself. And 2, he's just gotten heaps of penalties. And that's Kebab's retired. Is that the safety car that someone like J-Man wanted? Yes, it is. And that's Weber coming through. Let's see if we can see how Kebabs has DNF'd. Oh, just on the exit. An easy place to make a mistake. Raven getting lapped for a second time, I'm pretty sure. Getting out of the way this time.
This time I believe it is NPC AI.
Yeah, I think he left and hasn't joined back yet, so... Yeah, just looking at telemetry for a second, it does look that way, but... Guga, it seems like his charge to the front has died off, and it does not seem like he will have anything else. But I have noticed the gap between Spicy and J-Man is within about 4 seconds to 5 seconds, so I think J-Man might even be in prize for a top 5 if they can keep that gap to Spicy within where it is right now. But it has turned into a bit of a stalemate up the front. PS Bomber not pushing any more than he has to stay with, and SNF Wolf pushing as hard as he can to keep Guga outside of the 3 seconds, which he is closed in on. It was about 2.5 a couple laps ago. It's stretched up to 2.9 now. This will be an interesting end of the race for sure. With those mediums, Guga's definitely feeling it right now.
As our biggest gainer in this race has been Guga, up 4 positions. And we got a few people that have gone up 3. Raven Rules up 3. Miniman up 2. Weber up 3. Mewburn up 3 to get into the points. And SNF Wolf up 3 to be in the current net lead. But he does have the 6 seconds worth of penalties. Another big factor is Guga is also the only one in the top 3 on mediums, so his tyres are going to be sure to fall off soon, meaning Milan, Spicy, and J-Man on the hards could start to close that gap in and potentially cause a threat towards the end of this race. Spicy has a 3-second power broadstar by J-Man on the 3-second Mewburn, and Not Kai's also on 3. It doesn't look like they're going to be under any pressure from
Yeah.
Webber, though.
Also-
14 seconds behind them.
I know it's only early season, but I do want to talk about the teams and the drivers' standings. These results from the Alpine drivers, at least compared to that first round, it will put them up into around that close battle for 4th and 5th in this early stage of the championship, which I think Geordie will be ecstatic about, because in the past season, all of his Tier 2 drivers were always just not quite able to do what he wanted. But especially, and also for the drivers' standings, I think this would actually put the gap between the top 2 in the standings about like 2 or 3 points apart, because Guga also has a fast lap. Oh, and what is this? That's a slow Red Bull, and this might put
believe
Bomber
he's
closer
just
than what
being
it is. Yeah, Miniman has been lapped. And Guga, he's fallen out of the 3-second window we needed to the leader. So unless SNF falls off the track one more time, that's Kizzy with another 6-second penalty, or with a 6-second penalty now. That will not, what do you call it? That will not cause any damage to his race for Kizzy, the other Alpine. But I think the Alpines, compared to that first round, just looking at these standings, much better round. Guga, P11 in the first race, set for a P3, maybe a P2, depending on how this race unfolds. So I think when it comes to growth from these drivers, Geordie will be happy with the growth and hope this keeps on happening, because especially as a Tier 1 Alpine driver, I'm very happy to see my Tier 2 teammates doing well. Mickey has stolen the fastest lap of the race off the Alpines with I'm guessing a late race time attack. Let me see, yeah, a late race time attack by the Mercedes driver. But nothing out of the ordinary.
Bomber still staying within that 7/10 gap SNF Wolf. So it's not looking like he's going to have to gap 1 second per lap here as we come across the line in a few corners to make it 6 laps to go.
Lindsay Muddle has confirmed that Geordie is not ecstatic about how his drivers were doing at the start of the season, but I will say Geordie should be ecstatic as it stands. He's getting a driver on the podium, barring late mistakes. I'm knocking on wood right now. It is 3.1 seconds from Guga to the lead of the race. It's 3 seconds flat. I think Guga is ready for a late race time attack, because SNF Wolf's tyres are going off, or maybe he's just losing concentration. Maybe he thinks this race is done. He's at least got P2 in the bag. He's slowing down. He's taking everything safer, but that is not what you want to do when you have a hard-charging third-place driver that has got a penalty advantage over you. That gap, 3.028, 3.027. Spicy with another 3-second penalty while fighting Milan. They're side by side.
It's going to help J-Man catch up. He's already caught half a second in the one corner.
Yes,
He's probably going to gain more when he gets to that one corner. They've said he's now got it to 4.4, 4.3. So, yeah, that hurt them big time, as now they definitely don't want to keep that up. Or else
Milan with a little mistake. They're side by side once again, which lets us out of the race. It did not end well side by side through the bridge.
Contact again between the two.
And they are going.
Spicy does not have DRS. Milan does. Will Milan be able to get a move? He will go to the outside. He will get squeezed by Spicy. And they will look for a switchback. Not quite get it done. Spicy with a good exit. Both running low on ERS. J-Man now only 3.3 behind.
And looks
So
like
if they keep this up, J-Man will be joining that battle within the next 2 or 3 laps. Later.
I will try. I've been told that PS Bomber, this could be his first ever win in this league, but I'm not too sure. We might have to ask him in the interview room. But PS Bomber, I've never seen him, honestly, in much of any league being inside this top 3 position. Oh, Milan, a big snap for him. Spicy, he's just walking away with it now. Not the day Milan has had. Pole position, an amazing qualifying. Now he's back down in P5, not where the Williams driver wanted to be. Neither did. Pulling out all the TP's names here. Let's see what the Williams TP is. Senna did not want to see this happen to his Williams driver all the way dropping down the field. But PS Bomber. Let's go back to from the leader. 3.4 seconds is Wolf's gap over Guga. With with about 3.5 laps to go. As the end of the second sector they go.
As I'm checking the stat list now, does not look like PS Boomer has ever won a race, so this could potentially be his first ever race win. We saw last week in Tier 1, Abbas get his first ever race win in ORL, and so this could also very well be PS Bomber's first win in ORL.
That will be a good time for the McLaren man. Because I don't think he's gotten any sort of league race win. He's always been in the P5 and 6. I think I said this before, but I might as well repeat myself again. Because there is not much more to talk about in this race besides this amazing showing by the McLaren man. He showed promise. Well, sorry, I'm just replying to Lindsay in the chat, but Lindsay, that's what the league thing says. It says in the league that Senna's the TP. I'm just following the evidence that is before me, okay? Correct me if I'm wrong on who the Williams TP is. But PS Bomber, he is someone that showed promise, but there's a little mistake, and he's actually outside of the DRS. That is not what he wants, but I think this will show whether he's... Oh, and that's a... Who's that? It's an RB around.
That's a Red Bull. It's the Red Bull of Miniman.
That's such a U-burn. It's U-burn that wasn't around, but... Broadstar, he pitted and went on to set us off, so he set the fastest lap of the race, and he's in the top 10, which is giving him that fastest lap point.
He's still got a few positions to make, though. He's
Webber
got to overtake
also in the pits for a fastest lap. There are so many fastest laps attempts happening in this race, but PS Bomber, looks like he's just settled for that P2, and Gruger, he's settled for that P3. He's 1.3 seconds to the gap he needs, but I think when we head around to the final lap, we should ride on board with PS Bomber, because it has definitely been a show for the man out of, I'm guessing, Australia. I mean,
it's the second last lap.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not going on board with him yet. Just typing him up, man.
Oh, my bad.
But I think we should go on board with one of these drivers, Milan. A 3-second penalty. This day has just gotten from amazing to just not the day he wanted it to be. Bound in P5, he has lost, I mean, I already know, 4 positions. And he's about, let's see, where's he off the lead? He's 14 seconds off the lead after some safety cars. This has just been, honestly, a dominant performance by those top 3 drivers. They walked away from the field, and let's see, who's on a quick lap? No one's really pushing. I don't think Raven's in the lobby, but Mickey with a time penalty. You gotta be honest, he was not having a good race to begin with. Now all these penalties stacking on top. Not great, but let's see. Actually, is not Milan? Is J-Man gonna get anything? Oh, J-Man will. I think J-Man's gonna get some. Might get P4 out of this race.
Yeah.
That's gonna be an amazing job for that Aston Martin driver. The TP of Aston Martin doing an amazing job in his own car.
This will make him Aston Martin's top point scorer, I do believe. He got P4 last week. Looking like he's going to get P4 again this week. That's great consistency from him.
Sure is, but we are on to the final lap of this Grand Prix. The gap from PS Bomber to P1 SNF Wolf is 1.4 seconds. With Wolf's 6-second penalty, this is putting PS Bomber effectively into P1. But you always got to say, unofficially, P1 for PS Bomber, because who knows what will happen in the shooting rooms afterwards, after this race. But PS Bomber, he's put on a show-stopping performance this weekend, or this today, in this Tier 2 race, because preseason, you know, he was up there. In the first round, he was up there again. But this round, he's been able to put all the pieces, those extra couple pieces he was missing, together, as he is actually coming back at SNF Wolf in this last closing lap. He might even get DRS just for the fun of it. But he is coming back. He is doing one big last push lap. And I don't think you could have written it any better for the McLaren man. He was the only. Yeah. He was one of the only people in this race still actually in control of that car without a time penalty. He is the man that has put every piece of the puzzle together and not missed a step. He might come over the line in second place, but SNF Wolf, he crosses the line in P1, but PS Bomber, with all the right pieces put together after penalties, is P1, Guga, P3 in the Alpine. Good to see him up there. Webbo,
Yeah,
after being lapped, next across the line, but it's Spicy, P4, Milan, P5, gets on Spicy, but J-Man, with no penalties to his name, is going to jump up into P4. Kizzy in the other Alpine, coming into the middle of the third sector, but
yeah, it was
it was
a
a
great
great
performance
race.
by Wolf and PS Bomber. Obviously, Wolf taking the on-track victory, penalties afterwards, giving PS Bomber the man in orange, doing what Lando Norris also did this year at Miami, taking his first victory here in ORL. So great drive from him. And obviously, we'll see what happens in the stewarding room. But for now, that is his first career victory. I'm being told, so his first victory ever. So he's going to be ecstatic when we bring him into the commentary box.
He will
SNF
do.
Wolf picking up after a great drive, picking up P1 on track, P2 after his few track limit mistakes. So I'm sure he'll be happy with P2, even though he had 6 seconds worth of penalties. And Guga picking up his first podium of the season, followed by J-Man P4, Milan P5, Spicy picking up P6, Knock Pies coming up 7, Mewburn 8th, Rapid Mickey 9, and the other Aston Martin rounding up the top 10.
Well,
Now we'll have to.
I'll get these boys into the comms box any second now.
I think we have to move.
I think I can drag them down.
Oh yeah.
I think I can. I'm gonna have to see. Yep, should be able to. Wait, is Google? Wait, hold up.
Yeah, I think he is.
Oh, I'm just gonna retry this. Yeah, I think it is. This is. Oh.
I can't drag him.
Yeah, I'll try. There we are. We just need to get Wolf in now. But as we will go through this race, it was PS Bomber P1, Wolf P2, Guga P3, J-Man P4, Milan P5, Spicy P6, P7, Kizzy, Mewburn P8, Mickey in P9, Broadster rounding out the top 10 and the points finishing with the fastest lap, Firestrike P11, Webbo P12, P13 Miniman, Raven P14, 15 Kebabs, Combat United 16, R6 17, Juicebox and Marvel Boy Fanboy. Getting the rest of the race in. And I think we do have almost everyone in. No, we don't. We need Wolf in.
Wolf didn't join the commentary box last week either. I'm not sure if he.
Okay, I'll just double check with him. I think J-Man's in here. J-Man, do you have an update on where Wolf is?
I couldn't tell you, mate. Sorry.
Alright, we'll try.
Yeah, I couldn't get him last week. I tried for like 5 minutes, but he wouldn't join. Which while we wait, we can start with our P3. We got P3 here.
Yeah.
Good go, mate.
Am I good to? I'll get my driver. You can get Wolf if he comes in, but if not, you get PS Palmer. I just want a nice interview from my fellow teammate in Tier 2. But Google, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Well, first of all, congratulations on P3 with Aston Martin. But how was your race from your perspective? How did it go?
I was going to go 17 laps on the hards, but then the safety car actually ruined strategy, so I had no choice but to go into mediums. So it was really just conserving from there.
Yeah, well, what do you call it? It was a great race by you. You showed a lot of pace on those mediums, and I gotta say, how were the mediums holding up at the end? Because you seemed to lose a little bit of pace, but it was only about a second once the gap stabilized.
Final part of the race, the mediums were really slipping, so I'm actually surprised they didn't get to 45 there.
Damn, so they're actually still pretty good on the wear. Well, I think for all the Tier 1 drivers, that'll be good to hear. The mediums can last a good fair while, but, I mean, I gotta say, with your, and you don't have to delve too much into it, but when it comes to just how you, I guess your racecraft compared to previous races, how did you feel? Do you feel like since then you've made a lot of advances? Because looking at that first race on the driver standings, you didn't even score a point to a P3. So how do you feel like you've advanced since then?
I've put more hours into time trial. I've done more races with the other tier 2 drivers with Com United, JD, and J-Man. And that really helped with my racecraft.
Oh, well, congratulations on the P3. I'll pass it over to SV now with PS Bomber.
Thank you.
Yes, Bomber, mate. Great drive today. Obviously, back-to-back podiums. This one leading to a win today. You got second last week after a great drive, getting just within slithers of getting Wolf last week, within a second on the final lap. And this week, finally coming home with the penalties to get your first win here in Orwell. How do you feel, mate?
Man, I'm amazed. Hopefully, it's the first win of many, but I'm speechless, you know. Wolf put up a great drive. It was a few rough moments there, but at the end, I got the win.
Yeah, we saw at one point on the stream, on our screen, you actually went over Wolf, and which led to a spin. Then you came back again, once again, through the... Oh, actually, you didn't even lose any position there. That's how far ahead you were, mate. Your pace was very, very good today. You got a great strategy set up. One of the only drivers on the grid not to get a penalty, so you got to be pleased with that. And this puts you, I believe, either a few points just in front of Wolf or a few points just behind. So this championship season's very much alive for you, mate. How do you feel for the rest of the season?
I'm confident. I'm confident it's going to be Mercedes versus McLaren for the rest of the season, and maybe even me versus Wolf.
Yeah, well, that's what it's looking like, mate. You two went P1, P2 last week in quali. This week you've gone, I believe you qualified P2 there while he qualified P4, and that led to you going to win, mate. You put up a great drive, great heart coming to bring it home despite what happened. And yeah, that's one of the best tier 2 drives I've seen in a while. So you got to be ecstatic with that, mate. And we hope to see you back here once again last week. Said that last week, and look what it led to. You got your first win.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Have a good one, mate.
Well, that wraps up this round. You'll be seeing J-Man and Lindsay, I'm assuming. They're both some maybes, but I assume they'll both be here later this afternoon for Tier 1 here at Singapore. And you'll see myself and SVYT in that field. So I guess you'll see the stream open later tonight for Tier 1, watching me and SVYT battling out on track. And till a couple hours